Good morning, class. Nonnie here. Glad you came back for another class today. I wanted to share some things with you that have been on my mind. And so I have a little friend who is 12 years old. He is in the 6th grade, and he asked me some questions recently, and I thought they were really, really good questions. So I thought I would share them with you. One of the things he asked me about was, are you going to be afraid when you're on the trail? And the answer was, no, I'm not really going to be afraid. I am concerned about a few things, but I'm not really afraid. And what are those things? What are the things I'm going to be concerned about? Well, one thing is there are snakes on the trail, and there are good snakes, and all snakes are good snakes, but there are snakes that are venomous and snakes that are non-venomous. And the two venomous snakes on the Appalachian Trail are the timber rattlesnake, I believe it's a timber rattlesnake, and a copperhead. And so, yes, I am a little bit intimidated thinking about the possibility of one of those biting me. This is what can happen when you're out on the trail. A lot of times you're hiking, you're not really paying attention because you're looking at something while you're hiking, you're not looking down at the trail, and there can be one laying right there on the trail and you step on it, or you bend down to tie your shoe and you get bit on the hand, and or you're walking off the trail to go to the restroom, through the woods to find a place to go, and those copperheads blend in really well with the leaf litter that's on the ground. So you just have to be really thoughtful about that. There are a lot of other good snakes on the trail though, and those are rat snakes. They're really big, they can be really big, and they're great. They are beautiful. My grandson Julian and I saw one this past May when we were hiking up in Joyce Kilmer Forest, and it was about 6 feet long, and it was about this big around, and it was really pretty. I'm going to put a picture of that in here so you can see what a rat snake looks like. And rat snake, what do you think that means? They eat rodents, and they keep the mice and other little animal population down. Also, there are black racers. Those are great snakes. They eat a lot of rodents as well, and bugs, and they're really fast. That's why they call black racers, because they race. They just race, and they're gone before you know it. There are ring neck snakes on the trail. They have little bright colored red and orange or yellow rings around their neck. I think it's red and yellow rings around their neck. They're small snakes, and they're pretty interesting. There's also something called a hognose snake. Oh yeah, there is one more snake that is on the trail that is one to be about, and that is a water moccasin, which is also called a cottonmouth. So the fun things. Let's talk about the fun things. Do you know how many animals there are on the trail? How many things that you can see in all of those states? It is amazing how many things there are. There are bald eagles, there are American eagles, there are moose, there are elk. If you don't know what an elk is, just picture a great big giant deer. Elk are huge. There are black bear, and the interesting thing about black bear is they're not always black. Sometimes they're in a cinnamon brown color. Don't you find that interesting that they're still called black bears and they come in cinnamon brown? I think that's fascinating. There are coyotes, fox, beaver, raccoons, squirrels, bats. There are toads and salamanders and newts and lizards. There are owls and porcupines and chipmunks. There are woodchucks, which are also groundhogs. Those are the same thing. Stinky skunks and muskrats and possums. You know how to spell possum? It's not P-O-S-S-U-M. Do you know how to spell that? It's not P-O-S-S-U-M. It's actually starts with an O. Can you believe that? Opossum? That's how you're supposed to say it, but most people just say possum. I just thought that was interesting. There are also bobcats and lynx. And I'm going to put a little picture of a lynx in here because a lot of you may not know what that is. They're pretty interesting. There is so much more on the trail that I am not listing. Those are just a few of them. My friend Ford also wanted to know, well, what happens if something happens to you when you're on the trail? What are you going to do? And I said, well, I have this little piece of equipment that I wear on my chest. It's attached to my backpack, and it's a Garmin unit, and the Garmin has an SOS button, and so if something happens, I can hit the SOS button and someone will come to rescue and help me. And I hope I never have to use that, but it's there if I need it. In case I'm out there in the middle of nowhere and nobody's around me that can help me, I can hit that SOS button and an emergency response team will come to assist me. And I wanted you to see that this is what a Garmin unit looks like. So I attach this to my backpack, and right here on the side, if you see, there is a little button that says SOS. And if you open it, there is a button on the inside that you push whenever you need help. The reason they put this on the outside is so you don't accidentally hit it, because once you hit that button, an emergency response team comes to you, and typically they are where you are within 1 to 3 hours. Sometimes it takes a little while for them to get to you. If somebody is injured or you're on the trail and you find somebody that's injured, you can hit this SOS button and they will come and rescue you. That made Ford feel better whenever I shared that information with him, because he was worried about me being hurt and no one there to help me. And once I explained this to him, it made him feel a lot better. Class, I want to tell you why it's important for me to be involved with you and to share information. It's because I love children. I care about you. And I want you to have a love for being outside, experiencing the beauty of nature, understanding how nature works together, looking at the leaves, listening to the trees when they're blowing in the wind, watching the water flow, going outside and not just staying inside playing with video games where you are not experiencing nature. My family, from the time I was a baby, we went camping, fishing, hiking, skiing. We did all sorts of things. I was constantly outside, and even fishing. When I was old enough, my dad said, "Sissy," that's what he used to call me, "Sissy, you catch them, you clean them." And so I even had to learn how to clean fish, which I thought was completely disgusting, but he was teaching me something at the time. And what I'm trying to share with you is please go outside and experience nature. Go for a hike, go for a run, ride your bike, go swimming, have fun outside. Smell the air, let the sunshine hit your face, and if someone will take you hiking, I think that is awesome. And hiking with a friend or hiking with your family, that's even better. So I'm going to close for now, but I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you take good care, and I'll see you in the next video. But before I leave, let me just say, come on, let's go hike with me. Come on, let's go.